Yeah. So today we will start second lecture of this chapter, thermodynamics. Okay. So in last class we studied about some thermodynamic parameters and what is system, what is surrounding, what is universe, right? And the types of processes. So when we talk about types of processes, we have studied about reversible and irreversible processes, right? We have studied about reversible and irreversible processes, right? Just raise your hand. Okay, very good. Just wait for a minute. Yeah. So when we talk about equilibrium, okay, or process, so in last class we studied about reversible and irreversible processes, right? Reversible and irreversible processes. So we understood what is the basic difference between reversible process and an irreversible process. When you talk about reversible process, yeah, hello? Yeah. It's fine. So when we talk about reversible process, the 2 points that we should remember. First, in reversible process, the system, right, is in equilibrium with surrounding at every point. Okay, at every point means at every point your parameter is changing. Okay, at every point. So we will be using the change as infinitesimal small change, which is dp dt, right, or dv if we talk about volume. But when you talk about irreversible change, it occurs spontaneously. So the change will be finite. The change will be finite. System will be at equilibrium at only initial point and final point. The second point is work done. When you talk about work done in reversible process, so obviously since reversible process is a slow process, it takes infinite time. The work done would be more than that of the irreversible process, right? Okay, so mostly whatever diagram we draw for work done in the PV curve, it is for reversible process. Okay, so then again we have discussed other points that reversible process is imaginary, whereas irreversible process is real, or right. Now after this, depending on the other parameters, which is pressure, temperature, the process can be defined as isothermal, adiabatic, cyclic, and isochoric. Okay, now we'll discuss each process one by one. Now when we talk about isothermal, right, just think about this, isothermal. So we know that iso means same, iso means same, okay, and thermal means temperature. Okay, now just think about this. When we talk about isothermal process, right, what do you think? It's a process in which the temperature of a system does not change. Okay, means the system is changing from state 1 to state 2. Okay, system is changing from state 1 to state 2, right? System is changing, but the temperature at state 1, suppose pressure will be P1, volume will be V1, temperature would be T. So it's state 2, pressure would be P2, volume would be V2, but temperature will still be same, which is T. Okay, so we will have constant temperature at isothermal process. Now, when we talk about isothermal process, which means that dt is equal to 0, right? Change in temperature is 0. Okay, right? Now, as we know about isochoric process, we will talk about isochoric process. Again, same iso means same, iso same, choric is volume. Okay, so in the same way as isothermal, we have isochoric process in which the volume will not change. Means if we have state 1 and state 2 same, so P1 T1, P2 T2, sorry T2, volume would be same. Volume would be VV, right? So obviously in this case delta V will be 0, right? In the same way isobaric process, pressure would be 0. So these three processes we have already discussed: isochoric, isobaric, and isothermal. Now when we talk about adiabatic process, okay, adiabatic process. So this is one of the most important processes that we will study. Now, when we talk about adiabatic process, so adiabatic process is a process in which there's no heat exchange take place between system and surrounding. So when you talk about isolated system, okay, just think about this. When you talk about isolated system, so any changes which is happening in isolated system, it will be adiabatic. Okay, so delta Q will be 0. Change in heat should be 0 in adiabatic process. Okay, right? So this is basic, very definition is very basic. You just have to know what is the meaning of these processes. Okay. Now cyclic process, as the name suggests, cyclic, right? Now what do you think? What is the meaning of cyclic? It means if a process starts from state 1 and if it is finished at state 1, right? Means both state is same. Okay, both state is same. That's the meaning of cyclic process. So I can say that the state, the process in which initial state as well as final state are same. Okay, initial state as well as final state both are same. So if both are same, so delta E, so here E will represent entropy. Entropy. Okay, we'll study what is this, right? Okay, sorry, not entropy, wait. E will result internal energy. Okay, so I'll be using either E or U, right? These two parameters will be used as entropy. Okay, sorry, not entropy, internal energy, my bad. Okay, right? So we will discuss what is internal energy, and delta H is total enthalpy would be 0 because state are same. Okay, so we will discuss each and every process in detail. Now isobaric process we already discussed. Equilibrium. So what is the meaning of equilibrium? And can anyone tell me what is the meaning of equilibrium? We have already discussed, right? So equilibrium is a state. Equilibrium is a state, right? Suppose we have a reaction A is converting into B. Okay. So when we talk about this conversion, if the rate of conversion of A will be equal to rate of conversion of B, okay, right? Then I can say that this reaction is an equilibrium. But when you talk about a physical equilibrium, when we have gases, so I can say that when the parameters at this point, this side, right, or system, it will be equal to the parameter of the surrounding, then it will be in equilibrium. Yes or no? Tell me, right? When you talk about reactions, so I can say that in reaction, the rate of forward reaction should be equal to rate of backward reaction because equilibrium is possible only in reversible reaction. Now, just think about this. Will equilibrium is possible in irreversible reaction? Will we talk about equilibrium in irreversible reaction? No, right? So that is one thing that you have to keep in your mind. Equilibrium is discussed only in reversible reaction. Okay. So when we talk about reversible reaction, either it is chemical reaction or physical changes, right? Now, equilibrium in case of chemical reactions, it's a state, it's a point at which the rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. Okay, rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. Now when we talk about gas or any system, okay, so it is a state at which there's no change in thermodynamic properties, means both system and surrounding will be at same thermodynamic properties, right? I hope all of you understood this. Okay. Now, when we talk about types of equilibrium, so since junior classes, we have been studying about physical equilibrium. Yes or no? Tell me, right? Like condensation of water vapor, right? So these all are physical equilibrium, changing of ice into liquid or change of phase, right? Is your example of physical equilibrium. Now, we just have discussed about physical equilibrium and chemical equilibrium. So normally when we talk about physics, we discuss mechanical equilibrium and thermal equilibrium, right? So thermal equilibrium is totally associated with temperature, just temperature, right? If the temperature is same of both surrounding and system, then the system and surrounding are said to be in thermal equilibrium. So this we have discussed now, right? When heat change takes place from one object to another object, okay, one object to another object. So I can say that the heat will transfer only when the temperature difference is there, right? If the temperature difference is there, now it will transfer, the heat will transfer till the temperature becomes same. Temperature of system and surrounding becomes same, right? Yes or no? Tell me. Yes or no? If you keep a mug of coffee in your room, it will cool down. It will cool down up till the temperature reaches to room temperature, right? So I can say that that is your thermal equilibrium. Okay. Now mechanical equilibrium that we study in physics. And when you talk about material equilibrium, so in material equilibrium, there are two types of equilibrium that we discussed that we will study in chemistry. So first is physical or phase equilibrium, when the phase of system changes from one phase to another phase, right? For example, melting of ice or evaporation or vaporization of water. And second is chemical equilibrium. So as I said, chemical equilibrium occurs when the reaction takes place. And what kind of reaction? Reversible. See, when you talk about equilibrium, it's a reversible process. Equilibrium will be discussed only for reversible process. Now see this, right? What can you figure out from this reaction? Tell me, what can you figure it out? What can you figure out from this reaction? Okay, tell me anyone. So when you see in this direction, okay, right? You can say that the nitrogen and hydrogen are combining to form ammonia. Yes or no? Right? So for this reaction, the forward reaction is combination reaction where nitrogen and hydrogen is combining to form ammonia. Now, when you see this backward reaction, right? This is the decomposition of ammonia. Yes or no? Ammonia is decomposing into nitrogen and hydrogen. So I can say that, yes, I can say that this is a reversible process. When it will be in equilibrium? When this rate of our reaction, suppose this is your rate of our reaction, and this is rate of reaction. When these two will be equal, right? Then only we can say that the reaction will be in equilibrium. Yes or no? Does it make sense? Right? That should be the only condition when the system and surrounding will be in equilibrium when you talk about any other equilibrium, or in case of chemical equilibrium, when the reactant and product or rate of forward reaction should be equal to rate of backward reaction. Okay. Okay. Now, when we talk about thermodynamics, when we talk about thermodynamics, when we talk about reactions, see, when we talk about gases, so obviously gases do react. Okay. So apart from pressure, volume, temperature, these are the fundamental parameters. But we discuss some other parameters too, right? Those parameters are work, internal energy, which is represented by U and E both, right? Somewhere it will be U, somewhere it will be E, and then we have heat, which is represented by Q. Now, just remember, there is a difference between heat and enthalpy. Okay, we will discuss what's the difference, but there's a difference between heat and enthalpy. Okay, so these are the derived parameters, or you can say that main thermodynamic parameters that we'll be discussing in this chapter. Okay, so I hope all of you know what is work done or what is heat. Yes or no? Tell me. All of you know what is work done and what is heat. Now, what is internal energy? Just think about this. Just think about this, right? Right? Internal energy, as the name suggests, internal energy. Okay. Now, just imagine your body. just imagine your body. Okay, if you're sitting, if you're sitting idly, right? Is there any energy required? Tell me. If you're not doing any work, if there if you're not doing any work, then energy is required by your body. Yes, it is required. That's the thing. Because see, your body is performing your metabolic activities now, right? Your brain is functioning, your heart is pumping, right? Got it? So your body is actually doing other metabolic activities. Okay, got it? So you can say that even though you are stationary, even though it seems like you're not doing any work, right? There are the activities which is going inside your body. Yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? Yes. Now just think about this. Suppose you're not heating anything, right? Suppose you have a gas chamber, anything, right? Just a system. It is idle. Nothing is being done to this. Will there be any energy inside this? Will there be any energy of the system? Just think about this. If yes, then what kind of energy? Because you know that, just think from the very basic, that if we have a system, there must be particles. Yes or no? There must be particles inside that, atoms, molecules. Yes, right? Be it gases or whatever it is, right? There must be some particles, atoms, molecules, right? Now they won't be stationary, na? They won't be stationary. Agree? They will keep on moving, right? So I can say that the particles will keep on moving. So they must have kinetic energy. Yes. Now, since we talk about atoms, right, there must be some force of attraction between them. Yes or no? And since they're charged, right, there must be a potential energy, right? So obviously, if you forget everything, then the molecule or a system should have these two energies, right? If there's temperature change or if there's a temperature, obviously if temperature is zero, then everything is going to stop. That's the definition of absolute zero. But if there's a temperature change, right, there will be change in these energies. Yes or no? Everyone is getting? So I can say that when you talk about internal energy, it is nothing. It is sum of all the energies of a system. Okay, which is your its kinetic energy or potential energy or rotational energy. Got it? Understood? What is your internal energy? Right? Now just think about this. Just think about this. When you talk about when you talk about internal energy. Okay, internal energy. So potential energy is more or less constant. Yes or no? Potential energy will be more or less constant. Okay, it won't change that much if you change the temperature. Now just think about this. When temperature is changed, which energy will change most? Tell me. When temperature is changed, which energy is changed most? Kinetic energy. Yes or no? Right? So I can say that internal energy or internal energy you can say as U. U is directly proportional to kinetic energy. U is directly proportional to kinetic energy. And kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature. Yes or no? So can I say that U will also be directly proportional to temperature? Okay, right? So this you have to remember, understand that kinetic energy is a function of temperature. Okay, got it? So if there's no change in temperature, if delta T is zero, what do you think? What will be change in internal energy? If delta T is equal to zero, right? If there is no change in internal energy, then what do you think about change in, sorry, change in temperature is zero? Then what do you think about change in internal energy? It will be zero, right? Got it, everyone? We'll discuss that. Don't worry, we'll discuss that again. Okay, I'm just giving you a brief review about this. Okay, I hope all of you understood this. Okay, very good. Very good. Now, this was about internal energy. Then we will discuss each and every parameter. The first parameter that we study will be work. Work. So this parameter, this work, we have been studying this since class 9. Yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? Right? So I can say that if there's a force applied on an object, just think about physics, right? Don't worry about chemistry, just think about the physics, right? Suppose we have an object, right? You are applying a force F and it is moving a distance of R. Yes or no? Right? Then I can say that work done is equal to F dot R, right? Which is FR cos theta. Okay, and since the angle is 0, right, it will be just FR. Yes or no? Tell me. Yes or no? सबको ये तो पता है ना, at least that we have studied since class 9th. I hope everyone know this. Everyone should remember this. Okay. Now this is a finite work done. Now just think about this. If the force F will displace an object just to dx distance, right? The work done will be dw. Yes or no? The work done will be dw. Tell me. So in order to find total work done, you have to integrate, right? Integrate 0 say w and 0 say x. So this is same formula, but when it is changing continuously, when displacement is changing continuously. Got it? Everyone got this? Even NEET students? It is just the definition. Now you will think, okay, sir, how can we say that this work done is same as the work done in chemistry? Okay, so my question is, why not? Like, why not? If it's a work done, it should be same. Yes or no? The definition of work done will not change now, right? Now just think about this. Just think about this. Suppose this is a block. This is a block. Okay, and this is you. You're pushing this block with force F and is moving in this direction. So if I'm saying F into R is equal to work done. Now this work done is work done by you or work done on you? Tell me. This work done is work done by you or work done on you? By you. Got it? Anyone have any issues? Anyone have any issues? Right? This is work done by you. Now, if I'm talking about block, if I'm talking about block, so this is work done on the block or work done by the block? On the block. Okay, very good. So I can say that, just think about this. Suppose you are applying force on this direction, but again object is moving in this direction. Then the work done, right, will be done on you or by done, like work done will be done by you or work done will be on you. Okay, think about this. Even though you're applying the force in this direction, the displacement of this block will be in this direction. So what do you think? Work done, right? Because there's some other force which is stronger than you, right? So no, there will be something, na Sneha. There will be something, right? There will be some other force also. Okay. Obviously, that will not possible if there's only one force. There will be some other force, or I can say that the other force will be more than the force which is applied by you. So technically, right, work will be done on you. Okay, or when you write the formula F dot R, right, it will be minus F into R. Yes or no? Minus F into R. Yes, because cos 180 degree, it will be cos 180 degree. F into R into cos 180 degree, na? Right? Yes or no? Yes or no? So this will be your work done on the system. Okay, right? Now this is about physics. So you should ask, okay, sir, this was about physics. What about chemistry? Because in chemistry we don't discuss about force and displacement. We discuss about pressure and volume. Now just think about this. Just think about this. Work done is equal to force into displacement. Yes or no? Tell me yes or no. And force is equal to pressure into area. Yes or no? Now, this is actually F into delta R. Yes or no? Delta R. Change in position, na? Change in position. Yes? Now, if you replace force by this formula, pressure into area into delta R. Now, area into displacement. Area, this area, right? This area into this displacement will give you what? Tell me. Tell me. Will give you what? Area into displacement, right? Area into length, area into height will give you what? Volume. Very good. And this will be change in volume, yes or no? This will be change in volume, right? Yes. So can you see that this F dot dr is same as P del V? Yes. This F dr is same as F P del V. Yes. So this should also be the formula for work done. Yes or no? Anyone have any issue on this? Tell me. Anyone have any issue till this point? No? Very good. Okay, very good. Now just think about this. Just think about this. When we talk about this system, right, this is a piston, है ना? This is a piston. So I can say that there must be some gas inside and there must be some gas outside. Yes or no? Yes or no? So suppose the pressure by the gas which is inside is P internal and the pressure which is due to gas outside will be P external. Yes or no? Okay. Now just think about this. That's the difference. When when you will write work done is equal to P external into delta V. Now tell me, this is work done on the system, and suppose if it is positive, suppose it is positive, or work done by the system. Tell me, if I'm writing W is equal to P delta V and it is positive, then it is work done on the system or work done by the system. Tell me. Logically, think logically, right? Think logically. See the formula. What is P? What is P? It is P external. It is P external. System is this one, no? System is this one. External pressure is applied, right? Volume is also positive. Now, if I'm writing like this, that's the thing, right? Most of you are confused. Most of you are confused, right? Now just think like this. Delta V. What's the meaning of delta V? Tell me. This is this volume, yes or no? This is this volume. So if I'm saying delta V is positive, delta V is positive. Okay, delta V is positive, which means V initial. is less than V final? Yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? Yes. Now think about this. If V initial was less than V final, so this piston is moving in which direction? Upward direction or lower downward direction? That's why I told you to think about the basic definition of work done. If initial volume is less than final volume, then this piston will go up or it will go down. Tell me. Upwards. Yes or no? Upwards, na? Volume is changing, volume is increasing, so it will go up. Yes or no? Everyone understood this or not? Right? Because when you talk about the volume, this is the volume of this container, right? Okay. So if volume is increasing, the piston will go up. And when you talk about P external, it is in this direction. Yes or no? Right? Now, if external force is opposite to the displacement, then what do you think? Work done is being done on the system or work done is being done by the system? Tell me. If object, this piston is moving in upward direction, despite the force is in downward direction. So what do you think? Work done is done by the system or on the system? Yes, very good. So all of you understood now? Some of you might be having doubt, right? But I hope all of you understood now. It is by the system, na? Because system is pushing this, yes or no? Just think about this. System is pushing this, na? Even though the external pressure is downward, the volume change in upward direction means the pressure, internal pressure would be more than that the external pressure. So work done is actually done by the system. Yes or no? Got it, everyone? Just think about this. Formula of work done is equal to P external into delta V. Now, if it is P external into delta V, if it is positive, right? Then it is work done by the system. Got it? If it is negative, then it is work done on the system. Okay. But in chemistry, right? In chemistry, we write W is equal to minus P external into delta V. Okay. Right? Why we write like this? Because in physics, we write it like this. Now tell me, are these two formulas same? Yes or no? Are these two formulas same? If I'm writing minus P external to delta V or P internal to delta V, are they same or different? Tell me, everyone, are they same or different? They're same now because P external is negative of P internal at equilibrium. Yes or no? Right? P external should be equal to P internal at equilibrium. Just opposite in direction. Okay? Got it, everyone? Yes? So in physics, we will be using this formula. That's why formula is same, right? The only difference is in physics, we'll be using this formula. In chemistry, we'll be using this formula. Otherwise, everything is same. Got it? Everything is same. Okay, we'll study the same thing in physics, right? Okay, everyone? Now, just think about this. If I'm writing like this, W is equal to minus P external delta V, right? Now tell me, if delta V is positive, if delta V is positive, then this work done is, this W is on the system or by the system? with negative sign? Tell me. Now this will be work done. Samarth, see, it is negative sign, na? Right? Negative sign. Okay, so now it will be on the system. Got it? Right? Because negative sign is there, na? Right? Because delta V, just think about this. Force is in this direction. Force is in this direction. Volume change is this direction, but it is negative. So volume change will be reversed. Right? So it will be positive, na? Got it? On the system, na? Yes or no? I'll repeat again. See, P external, delta V positive means delta will be in this direction. Yes? Right? Yes? Yes or no? Just think about maths. First of all, just think about maths. Right? But we have a negative sign. What is the meaning of negative sign? That displacement will be opposite. Yes or no? Mathematically, I'm just talking about mathematically. Okay, right? So mathematically it is, again, it will be reversed. Now F or this displacement will be in same direction or opposite direction. Tell me. Just think mathematically for now. Then we'll think logically, right? Now I'll explain again. Work done in chemistry, we will be P external. Remember, P external to delta V. Okay. Now, what's the meaning of delta V? It is a change in this volume. This volume. Okay, change in this volume. So if delta V is positive, which is expansion, yes or no? Expansion, right? So volume is increasing. Volume is increasing. Now, if volume is increasing, what is the meaning of minus P external? Tell me. Minus P external, what is the meaning of minus P external? Logically, right? P external is this direction. Then what is minus P external? In which direction? Right? In the direction of internal force. Yes or no? Right? I'm just talking about the direction. In the direction of internal force. Yes or no? Yes. So minus P external mathematically will be in this direction. Okay, very good. And then volume change will also be in this direction, right? Then tell me, what is the work done? On the system or by the system? On the system or by the system? By the system, right? Right? Now, if I would be writing like this, P internal delta V, isn't it the same thing? Tell me, isn't it the same thing? Yes or no? Right? Okay, you understood? So this will be using in physics and this will be using in chemistry, right? Just think about the basic definition of force. Okay, so if I'm talking about work done on the system, tell me, work done on the system during expansion, it will be positive or negative? Tell me, positive or negative? Work done on the system during expansion. Negative. Negative na? We will discuss. Don't worry, Sneha. We will discuss. Right? All of you understood what is work done? Yes or no? All of you understood what is work done? Right? All of you understood this formula? Everyone got this formula? Yes? Clear? Right? So work done will be minus of integral P into dV. Yes? So this is the formula that will be used everywhere. This is the basic formula. Got it? The other formulas will be the derived formula. Okay? This will be the basic formula which is applicable for both reversible as well as irreversible process. Reversible as well as irreversible process. Got it? Right? So this is the basic formula. I hope all of you understood how to get this basic formula, right? Everyone got it, everyone? Okay. So you should remember these formulas. Now see, right? See, just think logically. Just think logically. If force and displacement are in same direction, then the work done will be positive by the force, by this force. Yes or no? F, right? But if there'll be this force F1, so by this force F1, it will be negative. Yes or no? As simple as that. As simple as that. Yes or no? Okay. Now we just have to think where the volume is changing. Now dV here, dV is positive, which means dV is taken as positive, which means the volume changes positive, means volume is increasing, right? So when volume is increasing, this W is negative. Yes or no? Right? Which give us idea that work is done by the system. Right? Got it? That we just discussed? Yes or no? Right? Okay, very good. Now, if we compress, so delta will be negative, yes or no? Volume will be less, final volume will be less than initial volume, delta will be negative, and negative into negative will become positive, right? So you can say that in this case, right, work done will be done on this system. Yes or no? Okay, right? So this was something that I've already discussed. I've already told, Anna. In physics, we just talk about P internal, but in chemistry, we talk about both P external as a basic definition for work done, right? So this is for you to think, but I've told you that there's a difference, but actually it is same. Yes or no? Tell me, right? The pressure is taken as external in case of chemistry and internal in case of physics. Otherwise, there's no difference at all. Okay? Okay. Now we'll discuss a simple problem, right? I hope all of you can solve a very simple problem based on work done. Yes? Can you solve it? Right? So try to calculate this problem. Tell me everyone. Try to calculate this problem. We have a problem over here. Okay? Everyone should solve. Everyone. I should get the answer of everyone. I'll ask everyone. Everyone should reply. Pradyumna, Akshaya, Anga, Anamika, Anisha, Shilika, Kritika, Imba, Kushi, Priyanka, Preetam, Tulip, Mansi, Vivek, Suhas. I just said the formula 2 minutes ago. Jitendra, I just said the formula 2 minutes ago. As simple as that. What is the formula for work done? We just saw the formula for work done, na? Tell me, what's the formula for work done? Work done, tell me, minus P into delta V. Yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? Right? P is given. Pressure is given. Yes or no? Pressure is given or not? When you're talking about open vessel, just think about this. Open vessel, which means the pressure should be 1 atm. Yes or no? Right? N is also 1 because 18 milliliter. We know that. 1. See, these are some basic doubts that you should remember. 1 milliliter is equal to 1 gram for water. Yes or no? How many of you remember this? For water, 1 milliliter is equal to 1 gram. Right? So this is actually not 18 milliliter. This is 18 gram. Right? And 18 gram means how many number of moles? 1 mole. Okay. So what you know? We know pressure. We know temperature. We know number of moles. Can we find volume? Yes or no? Can we find volume? Right? Yes, minus 30. So all of you got minus 30. Very good. Minus 9.5, okay, approximation, but it will be around minus 30. Everyone got this answer? Everyone understood this? Just raise your hand. This was a simple formula putting and getting problem. Yes or no? Simple formula putting getting, right? Just see, I've already discussed it, right? P delta V. Okay, pressure is given. How? Open container. Open container. When you talk about open container, right, the pressure will be 1 atm only. Okay, because when you talk about pressure, it is pressure of the gas, which is same as, tell me, this 373 degree, which is 100 degree centigrade. What's the definition of 100 degree centigrade? It's a boiling point. Yes or no? See, that's how you use the concept. What's the definition of boiling point? What is the definition of boiling point? It's the temperature at which this pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure. Yes or no? Right? And what is atmospheric pressure? 1 na? Okay, got it? And for this, we calculate number of moles of water, which is 18 by 18. How? 1 milliliter is equal to 1 gram. In case of pure water, you have to remember this. We have been studying this. Density of water, 1000 gram per liter. Yes or no? Means 1 gram per milliliter. Okay? Okay, very good. All of you got this? Okay. Try to calculate this try to calculate the second problem. Okay, try to calculate the second problem. Pradyuman, you are getting? Everyone? Pradyumna? Vivek, the answer is correct. Just check the sign. Vivek has answered. Yes, Ronak, very good. Just check the value of the power. Okay, value of the power. Sneha, correct answer. Vivek, correct answer now. OS, check the value of power. Vivek, sorry, OS, value of power. Check value of power. Abhiram, yes, correct. It's very basic formula, right? Just formula putting and getting. Everyone should solve formula putting and getting, right? What you guys are doing, Pranjal? What you guys are doing? Minus P into delta V. P is given. What is given? 10 to the power 5 Pascal minus into. This is from 3 to 5, which is 5 minus 2. 3, sorry. So it is 2 into 10 to the power minus 5, na? 2 into 10 to the power 5, na? Why you have converted into liter when pressure is given in Pascal? Think about this. The pressure is given in Pascal, volume should be in meter cube only. If pressure is given in ATM, then only you have to convert that into liter, na? And the answer should be in joule, right? So that's something you have to remember, units. When you talk about work done, okay, it should be, if answer is in joule, then Pascal and meter cube should be taken for pressure and volume. Okay, got it, everyone? Yes, so everyone got this? Everyone got this? Easy formula putting getting? Okay, okay, very good. So the next parameter that we have to study is heat. Okay, so heat, as we studied, right, it is just the energy that flows inside or outside the system because of change in temperature. Yes or no? Because the definition of heat will not change from what we have already studied. It is the okay, we might represent it with various ways. Okay, now the way in which we represent it, either we will write as just q, right? Now what is qv? What do you think? What is qv or small qv? What do you think? Tell me. Or let me ask you, right? I don't know if you have studied this because heat was not taught in class 9th, but if some of you will remember, how many of you remember that heat is equal to ms delta T? How many of you remember that? Where S is specific heat capacity, M is mass. I have taught something like this in class 8. Okay, if you don't remember, then the basic definition of heat when temperature change takes place is this: ms delta t. Ms delta t, right? Okay, where m is mass of the object, s is specific heat capacity, delta t is temperature. Now this is for object having mass, right? But when you talk about chemicals, when you talk about gases, right, this is changed into nc delta t. Okay, nc delta t. Mass is replaced by number of moles and specific heat is replaced by molar specific heat. Okay, right? This is the basic definition. But since in junior classes it was fine to write H as heat, but since H means enthalpy in higher grades, we'll write Q. Okay, got it? Got it? Yes or no? Tell me, right? So Q, which is heat change, is equal to NC delta T. N is number of moles of gas, right? C is molar specific heat, molar specific heat or molar heat capacity. Okay, now C here is molar heat capacity, right? Capacity. Now at some places this NC is clubbed together, okay, and you will get another C, right? So just imagine a C dash which is equal to NC. Now this C dash is called as just heat capacity. Heat capacity. You got the difference? C is your heat capacity for 1 mole of any gas. Okay, C is heat capacity of only 1 mole of any gas. Okay, but C dash is the heat capacity of all the gases. Okay, got it everyone? Just think this now. C is equal to C dash by N, right? By N. So this is heat capacity per mole. That's why it is molar heat capacity. Okay, right? Suppose you take 2 moles of gas, right, or 4 moles of gas. Okay, molar heat capacity will be same. Suppose molar heat capacity is 10 joule per degree centigrade per mole. Okay, because again this unit of C is joule per degree centigrade per mole. Now for 4 moles it will be same, right? Molar heat capacity C. But when you talk about C dash, right, it will be different. For 4 moles it will be 20 joules. Got it? Got the difference? Right? Molar heat capacity is for 1 mole, okay, per mole, and heat capacity is for total number of moles. ठीक है? Got it? Now tell me, what do you think? Heat capacity is extrinsic property or intrinsic property? Heat capacity is your extrinsic property or intrinsic property? Tell me, extrinsic or intrinsic? Heat capacity. Heat capacity I'm asking. C dash, heat capacity. Extensive or intensive? C अभी ना बताया मैंने. C dash is equal to N into C. What is N? What is N? Just think about this. What is N? Moles. So C dash depends on number of moles, na? Depends on number of moles. Yes or no? You should remember heat capacity is N into C, number of moles into your molar heat capacity. So heat capacity depends on number of moles. Yes or no? So if it is depending, then it is extensive or intensive. Got it? Extensive now, right? And molar heat capacity, molar heat capacity, molar heat capacity will not depend on number of moles. Either you take 1 mole, 2 mole, 3 mole, it will be same. So it will be independent. Yes, got it? Everyone got this? Everyone got this? Yes or no? Okay, very good. Now, what is the meaning of CV? What is the meaning of CV? Tell me. What is the meaning of CV or CP? CV means heat capacity at constant volume. Okay. And CP means heat capacity at constant pressure. Got it? CV means heat capacity at constant volume and CP means heat capacity at constant pressure. Got it? Tell me yes or no. This is just a notation. Okay. So in the same way, I can say that QV. What is the meaning of QV? It's a heat for constant volume. QP, heat for constant pressure. So QV will be equal to NCV/dt. This is the basic definition. And QP should be NCP/dt, right? Okay. So for now, you remember that this is a formula. We will discuss how we get this formula. We discuss how we get this formula. How CP minus CV is equal to R. CP minus CV is equal to R. How we got this, we'll discuss it. Okay. ठीक है? Okay. Chalo. Very good. Very good. I hope everyone understood what is heat, what is CP, CV, and all those things. Now, next is internal energy. Next is internal energy. So I guess we have already discussed internal energy. All of you understood internal energy? What is internal energy? Tell me. It is net energy of a molecule. Means it is the sum of all the energies stored inside the molecules, which is kinetic energy, potential energy, or if there's electronic, nuclear, whatever, right? But obviously these we generally ignored. We just talk about kinetic and potential. Got it? M was mole for 1 mole, molar. It was representation for molar Suhas. ठीक है? Got it? Okay. Now there are some things that you have to remember. First, internal energy is a state function, right? Means internal energy depends only on initial and final point, right? Initial and final point, and it is extensive property. These things you have to remember. Okay. Internal energy is the state function. It is an extensive property, right? It involves only kinetic energy of the molecule. Okay, not the system. Yes or no? Tell me. This you understood or not? This kinetic energy is the kinetic energy of the molecule, not this system. Okay, right? When the system is in rest, then the motion is considered. Okay. Now, if it is moving, then if the system is moving, then it will be taken in work done. Okay, got it? Now this we will study. Don't worry about second and third property, right? Now just think about this. Just think about this. We just said, right? You will remember these. You will understand what are these. Okay, you will understand what are these. Then we'll discuss the first law of thermodynamics. Sorry, second law of thermodynamics. Can you tell me what is the formula? What is the meaning of this? You have studied maths, right? So what's the meaning of this? U is equal to F T comma V. What's the meaning of this? Anyone? It's a function of temperature and volume, as simple as that, na? Right? Use a function of temperature and volume. In physics, you have, in chemistry, sorry, in maths, you have studied, na? U f of x comma y, or v is equal to u f x comma y. Function of x t comma v, right? It is a function of temperature and volume only. Okay, got it? So if you differentiate this, there'll be a partial differentiation. Okay, there will be partial difference with respect to temperature keeping volume constant, and respect to temperature with respect to volume keeping temperature constant. Okay, Sneha, I'm saying that internal energy is the function of temperature and volume. As simple as that, right? So du, which is differentiation of u, will be differentiation because it's just like u comma v, na, right? So u constant differentiate v constant differentiate u. As simple as that. Yes or no? This is called your partial differentiation. This is your partial differentiation. Don't worry, you won't be using it, but still for advance, I told you. Okay, got it? Now for isochoric process, dV is equal to 0, na? Right? So for isochoric process, dV is 0. So this term will become 0. Yes or no? Right? So you will have du is equal to du by dt, right? Tell me, du is equal to du by dt at constant volume, yes or no? Right? Yes or no? Yes. And what is the energy at constant volume? It will be Cv, du by dt is Cv only, na? Because it is dq by dt at constant volume, which is equal to nc, right? Or c dash, yes or no? Everyone is getting this, na? Right? Don't worry if you didn't get how I converted Q into U. Second law of thermodynamics will clear each and everything. Okay. But for now, you understood this, that du is equal to Cv dt. Here, Cv, Cv is your C dash, which is heat capacity. Otherwise, the formula is du is equal to N Cv dt. Got it? This is the formula that you have to remember. Doesn't matter which process, this is the formula for internal energy. Okay? Everyone got this? Tell me. Okay, so doesn't matter which process, isochoric, isothermal, the formula of du is ncv delta t. Okay, okay, very good, right? Now in last chapter I discussed something like degree of freedom. How many of you remember that? How many of you remember that? In last chapter in states of matter, I discussed something called degree of freedom. Okay, right? So, and in that class, I told you that we'll discuss this in detail in thermodynamics. Yes or no? Right? I hope if you remember. Okay, so we haven't started any mathematical calculations. We haven't started your laws of thermodynamics yet. We are just studying the various parameters. We are understanding the parameters involved with thermodynamics. Okay. Now the degree of freedom. Now, if we remember from this last chapter, states of matter, we know that degree of freedom is basically the coordinate positions, right? Okay, or number of coordinates required to locate all the mass of the molecule, or It is basically the what you can say. Yeah, can you hear me, everyone? Tell me, can you hear me? Yes. So yeah, I can say that degree of freedom of a molecule, degree of freedom is basically the number of coordinates or number of coordinate points, right? To locate all the mass points, means basically your atom of the molecule. Okay. Now just think about this, right? Suppose we have this atom, right? This atom. Now, if this atom is rotating or revolving, it will still be same position, yes or no? If it will be rotating, it will still be in same position, yes. But if it translate like this, this or this, the position will change, yes or no? So I can say that when we have one atom, there are three coordinate points at which this atom can be present, yes or no? Right? So this is called your translational degree of freedom. This is called your translational degree of freedom. Okay. Now this is something which is of very, you have to be very intuitive. Okay. But if you don't want to be intuitive, right, you need not to worry about that. You need not to think much. You just need to remember the values. That's all you have to remember. You don't have to imagine how this is translating, how this is evaporating, how this is rotating. Because when a molecule, when you talk about a molecule, it can either translate, right, or vibrate. Vibrate means this, na, right? Then this. Imagine vibration means the spring action, right? It is stretching, stretching, condensing, right? The continuous process is your vibration. Okay, then rotation. So what's the meaning of rotation? When it is, see, rotation means rotation. When it is changing your axis and rotating around a one specific axis. Okay. Now, depending on the molecule, types of molecule, the degree of freedom changes. That you have to remember. Means you have to remember this table, this table, just this table. Okay, right? Now, when you talk about this table, just think about this. This is atomicity, which is number of atom in a molecule. Okay, what's the meaning of monoatomic? As we discussed, monoatom means only one atom. Okay, so if we have only one atom, right? Yes, only one atom, so it can only translate. Okay, or it will have different coordinate axes just for translation, not for rotation, not for vibration. So the degree of freedom will always be translational degree of freedom, which is 3. Yes or no? Got it? Okay, in the same way for diatomic molecules, translational degree of freedom will always be 3 because there is no more than 3 axes. Yes or no? Right? Now, when we talk about mono, there is no rotational degree of freedom, no vibrational degree of freedom. For diatomic, there are 2 rotational degree of freedom and 1 vibrational degree of freedom. Okay, because obviously it can vibrate in one axis only, now, right? But it can rotate in 2 axes. Okay, it can rotate in 2 axes. Yes or no? Tell me. Suppose the molecule is in, this is your x-axis, this is your x-axis. Just imagine this is the x-axis. So it can either rotate along y-axis or along z-axis. Yes or no? Tell me. Because if you rotate it along x-axis, it will be same. It will not be rotation. It will be same. The position will not change. Tell me. Just imagine. Rotate your pen, right? Rotate your pen in the same direction as pen, right? Will the position of pen will change? Just think about this. Yes or no? No. But if you rotate perpendicularly, the position will change. Yes or no? Yes, na. So that's why when you talk about diatomic molecule, along the axis, along the same axis, right? No rotational degree of freedom. But along perpendicular axis, there will be rotational degree of freedom. That's why 2 and then 1. In the same way, when we are triatomic, right? Triatomic, since they have 3 atoms, right? So if it is linear, then we have this 324. If it is not linear, then 333. That you have to remember. Okay, don't worry about triatomic. Okay, you just have to understand about monoatomic, diatomic, and triatomic. Just remember the values. Okay, everyone got it? And usually we ignore this in chemistry. We usually ignore this. Okay, this is the values for us. I'm saying that you have to remember these values. Okay, and we usually ignore the vibrational degree of freedom unless until it is mentioned. Okay, got it? Unless until it is mentioned, you have to ignore vibrational degree of freedom. Okay, right? Okay, got it, everyone? Now, the value of CV, it is fixed 3 by 2R. Okay, I hope all of you remember this ratio 3 by 2R. See, translational means it is going in this direction, right? Okay. And rotational means it is rotating along one axis. There's difference. The translation motion and vibration motion are different now, Samad, right? It is just the motion of the atoms in a molecule. Okay, so the value of CV is equal to F by 2 into R. Remember this. The value of CV is F by 2 into R. Okay, got it? Tell me yes or no. This you have to remember. And we know that. We just studied that. CP minus CV is equal to R. Yes? Yes or no? Tell me yes. So can I say that? I say that so which is CP is equal to 1 plus F by 2 R. Write it down, write it down. Okay. So if CV is F by 2R, CP is 1 plus F by 2R. Now just put the value of F, right? And now for monoatomic, F is just 3, so 3 by 2R. And this is 1 plus 3 by 2, which is 5 by 2R. Okay, right? So you just have to remember this one, and this one. Got it? What is gamma? Gamma is called adiabatic constant that we'll study. It is Cp by Cv. Okay, these are just terms. You don't have to understand. These are just like constant terms. Okay, right? It is these. They are the constants. So you just have to remember the value of constants. Got it, everyone? What is Cp? What is Cv? What is gamma? How to find Cp? How to find Cv? Everyone got this? Just raise your hand. If everyone got this, just raise your hand. And you have to remember this, right? Just remember CV. You can remember everything else. Hai. You just have to remember CV, nothing else. Right? If you remember CV, you can find anything else. Okay, very good. Just try to solve one problem. After this problem, we will play Kahoot. Okay? Just try to solve this problem. One problem, one basic problem. Have you solved it? Just try everyone.
Yeah, Krishna, I'll just send you.
We got 11 answers. Very good. Guys, the Kahoot will make you prepare for timely answer. Okay. In exam under pressure, you have to solve problems in 2 minutes. Okay, within 2 minutes. Like these problems should be solved within 1 or 2 minutes. 22 answers. What about others? 25. 20 seconds left. Everyone. It is easy. It is very easy. No, Tulip, it will, yeah. Okay. So see, only 11 answers are right. Okay, 15 students have made it wrong. How come? Just think about this now, right? Just think about this. Ratio of O2 and N2, mass ratio, right? What is mass ratio? 1 is to 4. Just think about this. So W1 by W2 is 1 by 4. Yes or no? Right? And we know that M1 by M2 is equal to M1 by M2 is equal to 32 by 28. We have already solved this problem, right? Got it? Tulip, it might be internet issues. Okay. So N1 by N2 is equal to W1 by M1 divided by W2 by M2. As simple as that, which is W1 by W2 into M2 by M1. Yes or no? Tell me, right? So I can just write like this, 1 by 4 into 28 by 32, right? Divide this how many times? Tell me. 7 times. So 7 by 32. Got it, everyone? Got it, everyone? Right? Okay. Let's see who is on the scoreboard. Okay. Very good. Let's see. So the first is Jai Sharan, second OS, third Aryan, then Nidhi and Pranjal. Okay. Next problem. Ready, everyone? Next problem. Pressure of a mixture of 4 gram of oxygen and 2 gram of H2 confined in a bulb of 1 liter at 273 Kelvin is. You have 1.5 minutes. One student answer. As soon as question is asked. तुक्का नहीं मारना है, right? We get to know कि कौन तुक्का मार रहा है. It will take at least 10 seconds to calculate. Okay, try to calculate anyways. ठीक है, try to calculate. Everyone try to calculate. These are like concept tests or revision tests.